Can a spy really have a friend?
I think friendship is the main currency of uh, of spies. I think I mean it's a good question because on one side of the relationship, yes, that question is pertinent. On the other one, it's pertinent in completely the opposite way.
Yeah, it struck me as if I were a spy, I would not be friendly with anybody. I would just let it go. But there also is an element of acting that's involved. And Guy, would you make a good spy?
Well, look, I may make a good spy, on the surface, but I mean, of course, I can work as an actor on screen, but it's never a life or death situation. I don't know how I don't know how if I've got the chutzpah to act as well when I know that there are lives or countries or at stake. So probably not, I think, is the answer.
Well, how do spies operate today when there's just so many ways that the truth could come out? Is it whole different world in what? Because the 60s is kind of a real romantic period, at least for spies.
Well, I think in the 60s, human intelligence, in other words, human to human, getting information, in sort of bars and on park benches and all the rest of it was a reality, and was the sort of the main way of getting and passing information. These days, there's a lot more of sort of cyber espionage and all the rest of it, and I think you'll find that in various intelligence agencies, there are also still two factions. There's the one that goes, well, human intelligence is really the way that you're going to get the definitive stuff, or the stuff that's going to be keep on giving. And then there are people who are going to go, no, let's just put a drone up. So it's very different these days. But
Yeah, it
going back to
doesn't
the friendship
much.
thing, the friendship thing is important for a spy.
Yeah, it doesn't seem as much fun, but maybe I'm wrong. Never been a spy, can't weigh in. Guy, how much did you read about him before you actually started doing this? Did you know much about him or not?
I didn't know a lot. No, I mean, I'd seen a couple of films that had been made, and I'd seen a documentary once about the Cambridge Five. So I didn't know a lot. I knew of Kim Philby, of course, but knew no detail about him really, and certainly knew nothing about this relationship between he and Nicholas Elliott. I read a number of books before we started and through the course of making the show. One in particular, I think, was a helpful piece, which was written by Eleanor, his third wife, his American wife, the wife that he was with in Beirut when he left. She wrote a book that looked at some of the letters between the two of them, that published the letters between the two of them through that time. So there was something personal and human about the way she wrote. And so that was an interesting little way in for me into Philby. But yeah, I read bits and pieces of all sorts of things before we started. But of course, I always would come back to the script, and at a certain point, I find I have to sort of let the research material go.
Were there things you could relate to, and did you like him at all or not?
I never know the answer to the liking question, because whilst making, I'm so embedded into him that I lose myself in a way. So it's not necessarily that I have an opinion of him. I'm so sort of lost in trying to just become and understand him. I think the bigger question is whether I understand him, and that's what I'm searching to do through the process. And you can probably only understand any character, this much at the best of times. When you're dealing with someone like Philby, you can probably only understand him this much because he's a mystery to everybody. So it was a complex and challenging process. Yeah.
Well, thank you both. It's been so exciting to watch this unfold, and I'm just playing dumb through the whole thing. I'm not looking ahead to find out anything. I don't want to know anything, but it is fascinating. It's a different world, a different time. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Right. Thanks, Bruce.
Nice to meet you.